Beyond is a Spider-Man event that is happening across multiple Spider-Man titles, including the 2018 Amazing Spider-Man ongoing series. This Spider-Man event has a whole creative team behind it who are all involved in bringing you this fresh and exciting tale. Today we recap some of the most important revelations of the story so far as we count down the top 10 Spider-Man Beyond facts you need to know. But before we do that, I have an exciting unboxing for you. Today we are both unboxing and announcing something super cool from the publisher Mad Cave Studios. Mad Cave Studios is dropping 50 limited mystery boxes on their website today, and I'm excited to have received one of those mystery boxes from Mad Cave myself to unbox for you all today, so you can get a peek of what you will get inside this action-packed mystery box. Each box will contain one full series single issue set, one trade paperback, one event issue, maybe it's a free comic book day issue, New York Comic Con issue, Halloween Comic Fest, or something else. You won't know until you unbox yours. 3 surprise variants, and 5 of the 50 boxes they are dropping today will include a comic grade collectible in them. What's inside? Oh, this is so cool. What? This is a 9.8. That's like a really good grade. It's collectible, baby. It's like a bunch of stuff in bubble wrap now. I gotta unwrap. Plus you get bubble wrap to pop, which I love. More They Fell From the Sky. All of They Fell From the Sky. We have all of it. Secrets. I don't want to ruin the wrapping paper. It's so cute. Oh, exclusives. I think they gave me one of each. These have just gone live on the Mad Cave site, and you can find the link to get yours in the caption of this video. We've added it right here for you, so check it out. And with that sensational start, let's get into today's video. Number 10, who is the Beyond Corporation? The Beyond Corporation, to expand on them and introduce them to you a little bit more, is basically the mastermind behind this whole operation. They seem to be wanting to turn the role of Spider-Man into a corporate gig. They managed to get their hands on the Spider-Man name and trademark, and as a result have selected Ben Reilly to act as their own Spider-Man. Instead of approaching the Spider-Man, Peter Parker, or also the Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Why? Well, we might get into the layers of that a little bit later. But Beyond basically tells Ben that they chose him because he has a strong will, and that's what they're looking for, someone who can basically get things done. They give Ben a swanky apartment, a whole team of comms to help him in the field, and super advanced tech to assist him in his heroics. They also send him out on missions, both to help and save the public, and to help and save Beyond at times. Also, honestly, if you want to be introduced to Beyond before jumping into issue 75 of Amazing Spider-Man, where this story begins, you can check out the final story in issue 74 of ASM, the final issue of the previous run. And why not flip back a page before you jump into the final story? There's a really fantastic Spider-Man recap for you to enjoy. It's really great. I loved it. I want to frame it somewhere. It's so cute. Number 9, dreams. Something that I think is important to note when it comes to this story is the weird recurring dreams that seem to be showing up consistently, and the possibility that Peter Parker and Ben Reilly are sharing these same dreams. The recurring one that we keep coming back to in terms of themes and just what actually happens in the dream involves Uncle Ben. This is a particularly important moment in the story as it starts the whole thing off in issue number 75 of the Amazing Spider-Man series. At first it seems as though Peter is talking about a dream he is having, but later we see that Ben seems to be plagued with the exact same dream, featuring a faceless Uncle Ben Parker. Usually lengthy stories like this start off with something that sets the stage for the themes and often hint at what will be built up, where the story is moving towards. The dream thematically seems to deal with acknowledging who you are, confronting that, embracing that, and ultimately it deals with legacy, something that both Ben and Peter seem to be struggling with at the time. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want to hear more about Spider-Man Beyond, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. I got a lot more facts to throw at you. There's a lot going on in this story. Number 8, Ben is back. Ben is back, baby, but what does this mean for his character? Where is he coming from? Where did we last see him? These are all great questions. Let me try to answer some of them for you by giving you the full picture. Last we saw Ben, he was fighting to redeem himself after becoming a villain and taking up the mantle of Jackal. As Jackal, Ben was working to do what he thought was right by bringing back a bunch of dead folks as clones and trying to perfect the clone cloning process. This would help not just him, but a ton of other folks returned as clones. Of course, he kinda ended up creating a solution which allowed him to exert control over said clones. As Peter saw it, Jackal Ben had things kinda twisted. What he saw was all the power with none of the responsibility. In the end, Peter defeated Ben, refusing to join him, and Ben realized the error of his ways and fought to atone for his mistakes. At one point, he had his sins completely cleansed, as they were explained as happening because of basically a corruption of his psyche. Now he's back, but he doesn't seem to be too much worse the wear, considering all that happened more recently in his past. In fact, his time as Jackal remains kind of untouched for much of this story, although Ben does seem to be struggling emotionally. Number 7. The hottest couple returns. Aunt May and Doc Ock, of course. Oh, did you think I was going to say like Spider-Man and Black Cat? No. That isn't a thing currently. But Aunt May and Doc Ock do get a pretty steamy and fun team up in issue 80 Point Bay. What, you don't believe me that they're the hottest couple in comics? Pfft, please, it says it right on the cover. Covers never lie to us, right? Right? This team up involves Aunt May and Doc Ock getting together to help save Peter's life, with May calling in a favor. Also, I love ruthless and determined Aunt May in this whole plot point. Aunt May is kind of a badass here. This tie-in, by the way, is important to the plot. All of them kind of are for Beyond. So if you're wanting to join us on this roller coaster of a ride, make sure you read the tie-ins and all the Point Bays. I like to call them Point Bays, but B is also an acceptable pronunciation in my books, considering it's short for Beyond, so B. I just like saying Point Bay. Number 6. Beyond's true motives. So, why does Beyond really want Ben Reilly as their Spider-Man? And do they really just want to make the world a better place, or do they have ulterior motives? How do they make money? And what's really going on in the scientific and experimental sandwich department? Those poor sandwiches! Someone free them, please. As time goes on, Beyond becomes more and more suspicious, and not just to you or I, the readers. I mean, I think we're all suspicious from the beginning, right? But also for Ben and Dr. Octopus. After Doc Ock's team up with Aunt May, he's hot on the trail of Beyond, who he believes has stolen his work. Ben is sent after Otto to apprehend him after he gets his hand on a very valuable asset of Beyond's, a drive with sensitive and pertinent information, which Beyond refuses to fill Ben in about when it comes to what the contents of this drive are. Ben manages to defeat Doc Ock, but Otto gives him a choice. He has made it so that Ben can actually access the drive's files without Beyond knowing. Ben can either look at the drive or simply return it without taking a peek at all. Of course, Ben is already suspicious at this point, so he chooses to look. He does not like what he finds. It turns out Ben wasn't chosen for his strong will, just the opposite actually. He was chosen because Beyond considers him malleable, due to him being psychologically compromised. Number 5. Janine is back. Not only has Ben returned, but he's also got his very own version of MJ, who is joining him along for the ride. We also get to see the return of Janine Godby in the final story of issue 74 of ASM, the lead into the Beyond event. Now, for those who don't remember Janine, she was actually Ben's love interest back in the 1990s, and we haven't really seen her since then. She was on the run after she was severely mistreated by her father and basically killed him in self-defense. Her real name is Elizabeth Tyne, but she chose to change it to Janine Godby, because, you know, she on the run. And she still actually goes by Janine now, preferring it to her given name, probably because she associates that with a lot of trauma. Janine eventually felt that she needed to confront her past and accept the responsibility of her actions after listening to a speech that Ben gave to Kane about doing, well, just that. As a result, Janine turned herself in and confessed to killing her father. She ended up in prison and has been there till, well, now, when Beyond was able to make a deal to have her put in their care instead. During Beyond, she has mostly been confined to her and Ben's apartment, as she is still a criminal serving time. Nicer surroundings for sure, but she still acknowledges that she's pretty much just imprisoned. However, after developing her own suspicions and secretly being given the important Beyond drive from Ben, who then goes missing, the time comes for Janine to break out. Number 4. Miles gets served. And I don't mean he gets served some like delicious hamburgers or anything tasty like that. I mean he gets served in the legal sense. Miles Morales has also some Beyond tie-ins you'll be happy to hear, and to find out what's going on with him in the Beyond storyline, you can check out his own series from issues 33 to 36. Miles also makes an appearance in issue 81 of ASM, where he and Ben duke it out before teaming up to take on monster/villain Rhizome. However, while Ben ultimately decides not to tell Miles Miles he should consider changing his name after Beyond told him to, because Beyond only wants Ben to use the Spider-Man mantle, and well, I mean, they do own it. Miles does later on get served by Beyond, unfortunately, as we find out in his own series. And that is a whole thing that he has to deal with in his own series, on top of dealing with other hero-related problems. It's a lot going on for Miles right now. He just had his own clone saga, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Number 3. Queen Goblin. Queen Goblin is a new character who was introduced in ASM issue 88. But who is behind the mask? If it wasn't spoiled for you in the solicits, this is a revelation that may just rock the entire Beyond event. Still, I'm not gonna spoil this one for you. I also talked about Queen Goblin on my top 10 goblins list if you want to learn more about the design and the idea for her character, but without any spoilers still. But I will say that her identity could be something that will shake the Beyond Corporation to its very core. So definitely a character appearance that you won't want to miss, and you'll probably be very interested in what she's up to. Number 2. Black Cat and Mary Jane team up. Black Cat and Mary Jane need to team up to go on a heist? Black Cat and Mary Jane is a team up we've been waiting for a long time, and while these two often do not get along, I personally am here for the day when Felicia and MJ can just like be friends instead of just fighting over Peter all the time. Maybe this team up is a step in that direction, maybe not, but it sure is a fun one. If you need more reasons to read Beyond, this is one of them. Bam! Read this issue and enjoy the team up of these two. Remember, this is an event where all the tie-ins are relevant. Peter's life may even hang in the balance, but you'll have to read it to find out. Number 1. The Unravelling of Ben Reilly. Remember how I said that Ben's time as Jackal seems to be mainly untouched? Well, later on in this story we find out kinda why that is. In issue 86 of ASM, we learn that Ben actually allowed Beyond to wipe his memory of his time as Jackal, which is why he didn't really know that his therapist, Dr. Kafka, was actually a clone, one he himself created. Yeah, Kafka had actually been working to try and rebuild Ben's framework when it comes to his mind, because the whole mind wipe thing is kind of ill-advised in her professional opinion. It's dangerous as it could cause Ben's personality to collapse because he's a clone. And well, I think you know where we're going with this revelation. After Ben learns more about Beyond's motives and begins to question who and what he's really working for and why, they decide it best if they remove recent memories to protect themselves from Ben's suspicions, and to protect Ben, I guess, so that he can keep working for them. And yeah, it doesn't go well. Memories beyond what they are scrubbing seem to unravel and disappear. What will Ben be like when he comes to? I really think you should jump into the story with us so you can find out that way. Are you reading Spider-Man Beyond? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below if you are. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight. Thank you so much for watching, and to Mad Cave Studios for sponsoring this video. As always, till next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.